don't know where to begin. I want to put this on TikTok as well. So I guess I got to make it kind of brief because I'm new to both. The YouTube channel, if you can call it a channel, it's only a few videos, and I'm not looking to be popular in any sort of way or monetized, or it really doesn't make a difference. The channel that I created was originally on mental health issues and coping strategies and that sort of thing. But because I had time off work due to illness, for a couple years actually, I've actually had the opportunity to watch so many videos and so many different perspectives, and I kind of was blinded to what was going on. I'm a parent. I'm a single parent to a beautiful 13-year-old son, and I've asked him some questions recently, and honestly, I was losing faith in humanity. Especially in men, just to be honest, didn't seem like anyone really had an opinion on some of the topics I brought up. So I've been watching a lot of Matt Walsh, Candice Owens, Kamala, she's great, Kamala, JP Sears, who is awesome, making humor, bringing logic to people by being funny and just absolutely hilarious and telling the truth. And Kid Rock, I can name a bunch of them, and Kid Rock was in the same generation I was raised in, I think. I don't think we're that much difference in age, Grandpa, but I am loving the fact that these men and women are sticking up for truth. I mean, biological fact, scientific evidence, religion that also, is also consistent with science. If you depends on how you read it, I guess, and what religion you're in. And but I'm Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ, and according to me, what I've been seeing is just terrible. So anyway, I made a video addressing this whole pronoun situation, which once I realized there was one, through YouTube. So thank you, YouTube. My son has to learn something like 100, and he's got 2 bisexual people in his classroom. He's 13, grade 7. This is Canada, and he's got, I think, 2 transgender females, I don't want to get it wrong, females in his class. And because I asked him about this, I'm like, is this really what you're learning? And he said yes. What happened to math, science, just, he's in French immersion. Why do we need to know about everyone's sexualities? And then the fact, my last video, change yours maybe, change your pronouns, accept that we might not agree with those pronouns if you're transgender, or if you identify as a unicorn, or a doorknob, or whatever inanimate object that you identify as, you go for it. I've always been one for I love people, I love all people. As a Christian, I do. I'm not by any way transphobic, because there are people with gender dysmorphic disorder and have issues. And this is where there's going to be conflicting opinions. Matt Walsh probably wouldn't agree with me on this one. But I have seen this, in clinic, for example. I've been a medical practitioner for 15 years before I left due to illness. So there's biology and there's science, and there are some people that are intersex. Sure, it's a rarity. They medically usually fix that, once the person is of age now. However, if a child wants to transition, in some states, and I think here too, now, as a parent, you don't even have to know. They don't have to tell you that. So you can't even try to talk to your child first. And it's so confusing to me. And I was even willing, because I was very liberal before, like I said in a previous video, I was very liberal, and yeah, I would accept anything, right? But at what point, at some point you grow up. You have children of your own. You see what's going on. For me, took this leave of absence, but I was like, okay, I'm a cisgendered female now, I guess. So didn't bother me too much. You know what I mean? At first, and and then there's now non-binary, which does not make sense at all from my scientific and 15 years experience and my undergrad and master's degree in physiology and physical therapy. You can't be both or neither. Like there's something off there. But when it comes to identifying as a unicorn now and a wolf or whatever, sure, do it. Keep it private. Don't post videos on YouTube's, sorry, not YouTube's, but YouTube that children can see. Do you know what I mean? And because it's confusing. It's confusing to me. And then you find out later that now I'm going to be called, probably in the future, a womb carrier or a bleeder. God forbid anyone call me a bleeder, especially during that time of the month. They won't be having a pleasant day, but I'm trying to defend women's rights in some way, but more so children's. And I think if you're a responsible parent, you'll know your child, Matt Walsh says, I think it was Matt Walsh, who said they believe in Santa Claus flying around on, with reindeer delivering gifts. Or could that person honestly just not want to wear a dress because they just feel like I want to wear a dress for that day? They don't necessarily think they're a female because they want to wear a dress or put on their mom's heels or, saw someone else in class, because these days it's everywhere, that they think they're the same thing. And that's what happens with YouTube. So they start watching these things, it's normalized, and then they think, oh, I could do that too. But they don't realize that they could never be, like, even just woman-man. Biology. Like, you could never be a man. If you're born biologically female, I guess you could identify as one. And if you're respectful and you're not pushing it on other people, you're saying, yes, there are damaging effects. You're putting the risks out there. You're also, being responsible about it on, say, a channel. There are some YouTubers that are very based and that are transgender. Blair White. And there's a couple others, that I don't 100% agree with, but on the same token, like even Caitlyn Jenner is saying women in sports do definitely have, a disadvantage against biological males that are transgender. This is a woman now who, is being truthful. It's almost like it's become a trend. But mental illness should not be a trend. If you think you are a unicorn, and I say that I think you are too, and say, okay, unicorn Sean, just say, okay? All I'm doing is confirming a delusion to someone else. It's almost like it's a game. Like, it's one thing to change your own pronouns too, but don't ask me to change mine. I'm a woman. Born a woman, always was a woman. Got the female reproductive tract and the child as well, that vaginal delivery, people, like, this is absurd. It has gotten, and then when I saw, this is why I'm making the video today, I saw that, I hope this isn't true, but apparently, if you're attracted to children, okay, you're not a pedophile. God forbid we identify you wrong as a pedophile. You're now a minor attracted person. There's a flag for it. This can't be happening, right? Maybe I'm living in this matrix that, what's his name keeps talking about? Big dude, kickboxer, Tate. Tate, maybe I'm living in a matrix. I want to wake up from this bad dream. Because this is getting to the point where it is, okay, we'll call rapists now, males that are stronger than females that can take them over, attracted to them. Like, I just, people, help me keep my sanity here. I have no problem. I'm not transphobic. I can guarantee that. Okay, I'm not transphobic. And the reason I'm saying such is because I hate no one. I don't fear them. Phobic in itself is inherently telling you that you fear something. I don't. What I fear is the effect, though, that they have on children. That's what I fear. And my son, am I ever going to see grandchildren, or will ever even be sterile by that age? I mean, because anyone who's confused, it must be due to your sex. Guess mine was too. I would have made a big mistake growing up. Tomboy. Big tomboy soccer player here. The tiniest little thing. Hated the fact that I was going to get a period and have boobs. I was absolutely terrified of that. Wore 2 t-shirts going swimming. That's honest. That's the honest to God truth. And ended up going through the puberty. I think at around 16, I started modeling for a little bit. Hard to believe now because I'm old as hell. I was gonna swear, but I don't want to swear. I'm older, and probably more older than I think maybe I look at times. Well, this is a shitty ass camera. So there you go, shitty ass camera. But yeah, if I was growing up in this day and age, my boobs would have been cut off. I would have been sterile. I would have never had my son. I would have never realized who I truly am. I was the gender I was assigned at birth. Not that I was born it. I just was uncomfortable. Most people are, I think, with puberty. My son's 13 going through puberty. He's stronger than me already. And there's just so much I gotta say, especially on the topic of females and males in sports. This whole Bud Light thing, I hope people continue to pay attention. I gotta figure out one topic at a time here. And if people don't listen, they don't listen. But I'm a parent. And parents have to be good parents too. Realize that not everything you read, not everything that your doctor is even telling you. And this is a medical professional. I'm telling you, there's money involved. And they might sway your child in a certain direction based on something that's more to do with themselves. It's the same thing as a woman or a man who thinks their nose is too big and their ears are too big and they think they're ugly. So they go through all this plastic surgery and then years later they're like, this didn't make me feel any better. The only difference is, once the transgender people, which they're now coming finally out with studies, there are a lot detransitioning. And the only difference is they can't undo some of the damage that's been done, mainly with having sexual feelings, like physical feelings, orgasm, unable to reproduce. For both genders, if you're taking the meds they prescribe now, then you're in a really bad state. Do you know what I mean? So all I'm saying is, in this long ass video, is at what point does it stop? When is this gonna stop? I would like to have grandchildren. My son's not confused at all. He's a man's man. Guess I raised him right again. I had my own issues. Wasn't always 100%. But I raised him, I think, with good values. And he wants to stick up for his mama and eats well, exercises, straight A's in school. A bit confused about this, what's going on, especially in the classroom when I said, why don't you have more people over? And he told me, about the people that he basically can't relate with. The few that he actually, and these are nice kids. They're just confused and he can't relate to them. So it limits him too, to he doesn't know how to react, I guess. And he's a good kid. He accepts everyone as, for the most part do I. But if women don't start saying something too and protecting their children, and I know there's a fear there, just like Riley had, going against a bunch of transgender women, like, I'm sure she's very fearful, like, because they towered over her, like, all she's trying to do is just say that this isn't unfair, which it obviously is. Males are mentioning it all the time in videos, and Eric Silverman, I think his name is, or Alec, maybe, Silverson, sorry if I got the name incorrect, but he's a coach for the women's team for powerlifting. And he went into the competition in Alberta and walked in fully bearded, didn't get asked anything, just said he was female, just for the kicks. Walked in and 100 pounds heavier than the transgender female that was winning, like kicking all women's asses in that sport. Why do we need that to prove a point? Like, thank you, Abby. Thank you. I don't know how much to thank you. Thank God I don't have a daughter, because, there's not going to be women's sports anymore. It's all going to be men's sports. Because that's how I'm looking at it. There is a biological difference. Want me to prove it? Then I'll make a video. There's tons of evidence showing that this is nonsense. And, there's a couple sports maybe, like, that I could see, women and men would have an equal, but not powerlifting, swimming. Come on. People just think. You don't think that they're winning all these competitions, the transgender women are winning all these competitions because they don't have an advantage? They're beating it by, not 2 minutes in swimming, but like 11 minutes in swimming. They're like killing it. No shit. And there's a lot of biological differences, especially after puberty. If you went through male puberty, there's a huge difference. And it's not fair, and it's uncomfortable for some women, a lot of women, to be in a locker room with a man, a biological man. Especially if they haven't transitioned on top of it. Like, what if a little girl walked in there? Like, this is so confusing. So all I'm saying is I want to give a big shout out to Kid Rock. There's a guy too who I saw. I think he's a rapper. I listened to some of his music. It's good. You should check it out if I can remember his name. But he's a rapper, and he's actually really good. And he had a commercial, or a little TikTok-y, whatever they're called, where basically he's like, my mom's not on a can of Budweiser. She's been going through, womanhood or girlhood or whatever for, 300,000 days. Mother Teresa isn't on the can. It's the same thing as Woman of the Year. Woman of the Year was a trans person. What did they do? What was their medical advances? Did they cure cancer? Did they do something special? No. They just changed their identity to female. And that's so brave of them. So, there's women fighting all over the world for rights. We fought for education. Should women even exist? Do you need us? Or can we just be womb bearers now? And if anyone, trans or whatever, or straight, wants a child, that's what we're vessels. That's what I'm feeling like. We're just vessels because we're being identified by the fact that we can have children. And some of us can't. So then what are you then if you can't due to medical illness? It has become a load of crap. I am tired of it. Oh my God, it's even allowing pedophilia now. I feel like if anyone wants to put the flag, if this is truthful, if any person puts a flag for minor attracted persons, which is a pedophile, pretty much. Okay, so if you put that flag outside your house, I guarantee I'll be torching it down. I'm not going to be very happy, and I don't care what the repercussions are. All I know is there's some good people out there You shoot those cans of Budweiser. You know, I want to shoot a box of tampons, Tampax. We're not allowed guns in Canada here, so. But I want to do what Kid Rock did. I'm pissed. He didn't harm anyone. He didn't do anything wrong by making that. He's showing he's angry, and he's not buying it. I've seen some claims, some nonsense claims that it was too much violence and violence. He's shooting at cans. He could have made as well shot at a target and took a video. He's disagreeing with something and taking a stance. Real men like that, I appreciate. I want a man like that. I want a man like that guy who had the mother on the bud, you know, said Mother Teresa should be on the can. This person should be on the can. Like, everyone's standing up for what is truthful. It's not even truthful. It's sensical. Logic, your common sense should tell you what we're seeing right now is going in a very bad direction. You don't have to be against anyone or hate anyone to change it, but have an opinion as a parent or whatever. If you're fearful, I'm fearful. I work in a medical profession. I plan on going back to in the future. Might this influence it? Maybe. But you know something? I stood up for my son. And I love him.